guys, I'm back, and today I have a story time video for you, and it is the story time of the time I almost died by my Uber driver. I know, there's so many story times about so many Uber drivers, but let me just tell you, I genuinely, from my core, was terrified at this moment. So let me start over from the beginning. Me and my sister Rochelle were going to the zoo, Atlanta, and we love the zoo, been there multiple times. Like, we were so pumped. We were going for this. We actually have a video vlogging after this terrifying incident, and it was for the Northside Hospital annual party thing at the zoo. So we took an Uber there just because I didn't want to drive, and it was just easier that way. So we take an Uber, and our Uber picks us up, and first of all, he's like 45 minutes late. Like, he took so long. I tried canceling the ride multiple times. It wouldn't let me. So he finally gets there, and I'm like, I'm mad at you. Like, I already don't like you. I don't say that, of course, because I'm a polite person, but I'm mad at this point, and I'm just like, just bring me to the zoo. I want to see the elephants. So me and my sister in the car, and it's like quiet, obviously. Like, he didn't really have music playing or anything, and he was kind of awkward. Like, he didn't talk much. He was like a middle-aged man, but like he had looked very fidgety, and I was like, maybe he's just like anxious because he knows he was late and he knows Mama's pissed. But like I just kind of blew it off. He was just kind of anxious, whatever. And so we're driving. We get on the highway. We keep going, and me and my sister, we both look at each other at the same time because we hear thumping in the trunk, like as if someone's trapped in there and they're banging to get out. And we're like, what is that noise? Like, oh my God, someone's in the trunk. What's happening? And so we like don't want to say anything because if he's a murderer, we're not going to be like, hey, there's someone in your trunk. And he's going to be like, bitch, how'd you know? So we didn't say anything. We just kind of were like, holding hands, like terrified. And it just kind of stays quiet the rest of the ride, but we'll hear like occasional like thump, 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 thump. And it's not the tires. It's not the road. It's the trunk coming from the trunk. Like, I know there's going to be comments that are like, it was probably the road or like running over rocks. I know what that sounds like. This was like Dexter killed someone and put them in his trunk and they were banging, or like almost killed him and they were banging to get out. Anyways, so I digress. We're going and we're almost at the zoo, and like it says like the zoo sign's right there and you're like supposed to turn right to go into the zoo to park. And he's like going past it and we're like, oh, you're supposed to turn there. And he's like, oh, no, I'm taking back way. And we're like, he's going to kill us. And so like the GPS is like, turn around. And we're like, listen to her. She's saying turn around. Like, what are you doing? And then we remember the banging in the back and we're like, he's bringing us to an alley. We're going to die. So we're panicking. And okay, sorry guys, my phone had died, so like the camera stopped recording. Anyways, so where did I leave off? Oh yeah, petrified, terrified, shaking in our boots. We're going down the road, and the GPS had said multiple times, like, turn around. Like, we saw the entrance to the zoo when we passed it. And then he keeps going, and I'm like, oh, excuse me, sir. Like, it was back there. Like, you passed it. And he's like, oh, no, taking you shortcut. And I'm like, oh, but the GPS says turn around. And he's like, I know where we're going. And I was like, okay. And so he goes, and then he, like, loops around, like, kind of like the back way of, as if he was making a giant circle. And he went all the way around. We heard the thumping again in the back, and we're like, no, like, let me, like, text my mom, like, tell her we're gonna die. Like, I'm sorry for all the bad decisions I made, Mom. I'm sorry. Like, we're dying. Anyways, so we go around, and I'm not even kidding you. I text my mom, and I'm like, if I don't come home tonight, my Uber driver was a psychopath that killed me and Rochelle and threw us in the trunk along with his, little buddy that's back there banging rat-a-tat-tat in the back right now. So she responds, what? And I'm like, okay, I can't even handle that right now. And so we're going, we turn around, and he ends up, like, making a big circle, like a big loop, and goes back to, like, where the main entrance is. So he pulls in, and we're like, okay, I think we're good now. So we get out of the car, and, like, I'm, like, trying to get out, and he, like, locks the door, and I'm like, like I'm pulling on the handle and he had just locked it, and I was like, okay, we're in the zoo parking lot, like what are you going to do? And so like I'm like, oh, you locked it, and he's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, it's locked. And he's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, I can't open my door. And he's like, oh, you locked it. And I'm like, I okay. So he finally unlocks it. We get out of the car. We are safe. It was terrifying. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, it sounds so like not dramatic. Or like, I know like once I got home and I told my mom the whole story, she was like, oh, he probably just wanted like more money from you. So he was taking like a long way to make it last longer. But like the money was the same as it was like the requested ride said it would be. So I don't know. We lived through it, but I don't know. It was terrifying. Like I genuinely from the bottom of my soul thought I was gonna die because of the banging and the like, oh, we're passing your turn. Like, it was too much. But anyways, if you guys like this video and you thought it was funny or you've ever been through an experience like that, please leave a comment down below and let me know so I'm not alone in this uber terrifying world. See what I did there? Anyways, give it a like if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. You're to each your own. And remember, live, laugh, love yourself. Bye, guys.